What are we
This is our first educational video. Teaching, pushing knowledge right now.
Hello friends, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. First and foremost, I just want to say hello, welcome, and I also want to add like a quick little caveat.
What is this about, caveat?
Basically, this is a disclaimer letting you guys know that this is definitely outside of the box in terms of the type of content that I typically do here on this channel. This would probably fall into like the educational or informational category, which honestly I'm not really known for. Entertaining, but straight up educational, I try to like sneak in.
We have to say like, this is not financial advice. Talk to your CPA for actual advice.
We're learning and we just want to share what we've learned so far with you guys. Oh, and PS, I feel like maybe we should introduce ourselves for people who are new here. So hi, I'm Joslyn and this is my husband,
Chris.
And together we renovate, flip houses, and most recently in the last, I would say 2.5 years, we have really dived, I was gonna say dove in, not a word. We have really dived deep into the Airbnb space. So here we are at the first unit we're gonna take you into. This is the 3-bedroom, AKA the Big Kahuna.
That was like the first nickname it had, Big Kahuna.
And I've been a real estate agent for, you know what's crazy?
What?
10 years ago I got my license in California and 6 in Arizona. So we started flipping, 4 years ago roughly? And that transitioned into kind of taking some of those profits and putting them into Airbnbs.
We have 2 properties, one that we call Reese Resorts, which is a 3-bedroom, 1-bath home. It's amazing. And then another that we call the Hotel or the Casitas by Reese Resorts, which is an Airbnb compound with 4 separate houses on the property. And honestly, things have been going, knock on everything, things have been going kind of well for us. What are our estimated occupancy numbers? Because I know you're a finance guy and you're gonna be like, well, according to my calculations, give me a conservative estimate.
Reese Resorts is a little house we have in Phoenix, and that one this year has been 100% occupied. So 0 vacancies so far, but summer slows down, so we're gearing up for that.
We haven't had any days where no one's been there. That is wild.
It's been pretty wild. And then for hotel, definitely slowing down in the last probably 3 weeks. Before that, we were probably at like 75 to 85% occupied, but it's kind of going down each day that people are not in there. So we got to find some renters.
Obviously, we are conservative in terms of those numbers, but I believe that we can make it happen and we're going to show you how to do it. Yes, we are going to be sharing absolutely everything, but I wanted to hop in really quick to invite you guys to join the party and my exclusive email newsletter. There's an entire section dedicated to all things Airbnb, real estate, home renovation, home flipping. So click the link down in the description to join the party. And with that, back to the video.
You might have seen or heard that there's a lot of people failing in the Airbnb space now, called Airbnb bust. And what happened was a whole bunch of people jumped into it, especially the past 3 years during COVID.
And if you think about it, first off, people had a lot of free time to think about how to invest and what they wanted to do. And Airbnbs and short-term rentals were killing it because people just didn't feel comfortable going with their families to a hotel. A lot of people couldn't get on planes. So the best option for us as well was like, hey, let's rent a house that's super sanitized and just hang out there for the weekend.
Yeah, it was kind of the perfect storm if you think about it, because people weren't going on vacations as much, like in terms of air travel. So they had all this money that they were saving that they might have been spending on other things. So they're like, well, why don't we buy an Airbnb? A whole bunch of people jumped into the Airbnb game, and for the few years during COVID, it actually was the perfect storm and people were making a lot of money doing it. I think part of the reason people are struggling is that there's so many Airbnbs that there's an oversupply, and combine that with the fact that less people are working from home.
And people are hopping on airplanes and going on vacations overseas, so there's just less demand for a lot of Airbnbs, at least domestically in the US. So friends, buckle up.
Spicy she is.
Can you tell I've been drinking?
She's got that energy drink. I actually spiked it with vodka. She didn't even know that.
So right now we are gonna share our top 3 tips when it comes to going from struggling with your Airbnb or your short-term rental business to really straight up thriving. We are not gatekeepers, okay? We're just sharing the things that have actually worked for us.
Well, I'll let you take number 1.
Okay.
It has to do with design.
Yes, a lot of you guys, I'm sure everyone out there has stayed at an Airbnb, and think to yourself, when you're scrolling on Airbnb, why are you picking specific properties? Of course, you're looking for a property that has X amount of bedrooms, can sleep X amount of people. But beyond that, how do you find a property that really stands out? Thumbnail images, the design of your house is low key, high key, whatever the key is, whatever the kids are saying, it's super important. Like, how are you standing out? I get it. This kind of stuff is very expensive and maybe it's not your forte. You can't hire a designer or whatever. Guess what? YouTube has endless inspiration when it comes to decorating all sorts of properties. And for us, we don't have a huge budget. I get most of the stuff either from Facebook Marketplace, Goodwill, donated from family and friends. And of course we are buying new items, like when it comes to mattresses and linens and stuff like that. But the way that your property looks, the way that it photographs, the vibe, the energy is so important. We've actually noticed that millennial women make up the bulk of our renters. And y'all, as an elder millennial, we need to talk about millennial women and their purchasing power for just a minute. Business Insider just noted that, quote, the oldest millennial who turns 40 this year, these 40-year-old millennials, quote, have the most spending power. Then they go on to add that, quote, millennials have become the economic driving force in America. They are the largest generation, representing the biggest percentage of the country's workforce, and they hold the most purchasing power. As millennials age and their incomes grow, their spending power is only set to increase. And then they end this whole thing saying the 40-year-old leads the way. This is my generation and I love this for us, but basically what I'm getting at is, what are millennials into? And are you serving them in terms of the design needs of your house? Is your house cute? It's obviously super subjective to what people like.
Design has become more and more important though, because
it's saturated. How are you standing out?
If you're scrolling through options, you have to be cool looking. You have to be cute looking. When there's less inventory, people are desperate. They just want a place to stay for affordably. But when there's tons of options, how do you stand out? You gotta look cute. And you know what you're really good at? There's a lot of good DIY stuff that you can do basically for free. Like, remember how we painted that arch above the bed?
Yes.
That's a free thing that makes the room pop.
Don't underestimate the power of design, and then that leads to photos. The photos on your listing need to look bright. They need to look light. These things really give you that extra edge when it comes to your house even being seen. Like, you might have a great house, but if no one can see it or knows that it's out there, or your photos truly suck, then like, what's the point? So don't scrimp on that. I think it's definitely worth the investment, and I have a million ideas for DIYs here on my channel. And obviously, like, hello, have you heard of TikTok? Head on over. What's our number 2?
Number 2, we're very pet friendly and kid friendly. Now, that was the one that surprised me the most.
Now, tell me more, sir.
It really shocked me.
Yeah.
I did not know how important pet friendly was going to be. And I think partially it was because of the COVID thing, people are traveling for longer periods of time with their animals. But I think 90% of our renters have had pets.
And I know a lot of you guys out there who have properties are like, I don't want to let these pet people into my property. They're gonna ruin it, blah, blah, blah. But here's the thing, friends. Go on Airbnb or VRBO or whatever right now and look up a city you want to do a rental in. Then do the little check mark for pet friendly, and guess what? There's gonna be like 5 properties. There are so few options for people out there who are traveling with their pets, and they know it. So guess what? They want to keep their reviews really high. I have found that pet people take much better care of our properties than anyone else, because they're so shook that in the future they might not be able to take their pets. Plus, we do a pet cleaning fee.
You will be paying more on the cleaning side, so you have to charge for that and account for that. Always excess hair and stuff, it's just unavoidable.
Yeah.
Bake that into your cleaning fee though. And the other thing that makes a property pet friendly, which has really been beneficial to us, is our properties all have private fenced yards with 6-foot tall fences. That's been huge, I think.
Hugely important, especially for people who want to let their pets outside while they go somewhere. Also really great, like we said, we're very family friendly. So for kids, like, people don't want their kids wandering off. So being able to have those fences and those fenced yards has truly taken us to the next level. And we've had nothing but amazing experiences with pet people. And in the cases where they have like effed up a piece of furniture, they're always like glad to pay for it.
Yep, that's true. We've had a good experience so far.
Tip number 3, and this is the big daddy. This is the big zaddy of it all. And this is really the game changer when it comes to our business, and it is called MTR.
Tip number 3 is you should be open to how long you let people stay with you. So traditionally you think of Airbnb, VRBO, it's a long weekend, it's a week, something like that. Those are the typical rentals, shorter term. Anything 30-day plus, we're now defining as midterm rentals.
MTR, baby.
So that actually is a segment that's grown a lot, obviously during COVID, people working for longer periods of time away from home in your Airbnb. Also traveling professionals, travel nurses. That's been a really fast growing segment. And the nurse thing, they typically get signed with a hospital for 13 weeks. So that's a 3-month stay. So if you have an Airbnb right now, I would really recommend start thinking in terms of, okay, I'll accept, long weekends and weeks, but targeting 3-month, 1-month, 6-month rentals is a really powerful key, because not only do you have less vacancy, you have less turnover, less cleaning fees, and it just kind of keeps your place occupied.
These traveling professionals, they're busy, y'all. Like, they don't have time to be throwing ragers, trashing your house. They are usually in your city and at your home to work, to get a job done. So we've just found that they're amazing tenants, amazing guests, and always so grateful. We definitely always offer them advice when it comes to picking restaurants or a dry cleaner or a yoga class or whatever, because we know that they are there for a little bit more of an extended stay. And truthfully, we didn't even discover this sector of renters ourselves. We found out about it because some of our first renters ever were 2 travel nurses who filled us in on just how amazing this world could be. And now we've been exploring it off of Airbnb, which is something I really want to fill you guys in about. And this is what we talk about when it comes to gatekeeping. We're actually not finding most of these traveling professionals on Airbnb, although we have found a lot there. They're mostly being located on a website called Furnish Finders.
FurnishFinder.com has been an amazing resource. I wish they were sponsoring
I wish they were
this.
sponsoring us. Furnish
I wish
Finder.
we got a sponsor.
Yo.
Shout out to Furnish Finder. It is a website specifically for traveling nurses and professionals. So they go on there. They know that they can anticipate finding hopefully secure, safe, furnished rentals for those longer periods of time. So we've had a lot of luck connecting with people on Furnish Finder.
And like you were saying, a lot of these people, whether it's Furnish Finder or whatever, and whatever career they're in, are receiving stipends from their companies or even from the government sometimes. And they're looking for places that are furnished. So you absolutely can charge a premium, because you're not just offering them like, here's an empty apartment. You're giving them everything down to the forks and knives, down to the towels. They can just show up and live. And there's a lot of peace of mind that comes with that. And you can actually charge for that. And then there might be some of you who are like, why in the world would I do that? I'm gonna make so much money for these like big tentpole weekends. But we're in Phoenix this year. The Super Bowl was in Phoenix, and guess what? Most Airbnbs did not get booked, which is crazy. And we made the bold choice early on to
not take Super Bowl bookings, but instead go with a 3-month rental,
which ended up working out really well.
It was something I thought about a long time, because everyone was hyping up Super Bowl's coming this year, Phoenix, there's a golf tournament that goes on in the springtime, like all these big events. And so people are just holding off and charging, $900 a night for just Super Bowl weekend. We were thinking, wow, there's this huge opportunity to make a ton of money renting our property for Super Bowl specifically. But we had a couple traveling professionals reach out, and they were really wanting to have like a 3-month stay. And that happened to be, if we took it, we'd miss out on the Super Bowl booking. So I was kind of like, should we do this? Should we not? We took a 3-month booking, forewent the Super Bowl rental income, and it ended up being an amazing decision. I actually ended up finding out after the fact, after Super Bowl came and went in Phoenix, that a lot of hosts did not even rent their properties. There was too many properties. Some properties went vacant or for hardly any money, which was crazy. It screwed a lot of people that were banking on that.
Basically, you guys, what we're getting at is just be open to different time frames, whether it's a long weekend or a 6-month stay. We've just become huge fans of the midterm world. And to take that a step further, something we have dabbled in just a little bit is working with people who have insurance claims. Like, for example, we had 2 sisters because they were so cool, their apartment burned down. When that happens, the insurance company will give you money to go live in a place that is fully furnished. We're starting to dabble in that world. If you guys are watching and you have more information to share, please hit the comment section, because like I've said multiple times in this video, we're really still learning.
Yeah, especially on the insurance side of things. I would love to work with insurance companies because they normally pay a pretty penny.
And honestly, we just love the idea at the core of all of this of sharing our home and what we've created in Phoenix with you guys. It's an extension of our house that we just really enjoy sharing with other people. So with that, my friends, those were the 3 things that we feel have taken us from struggling to
struggling less. I'm just kidding. So if you thought this was valuable,
thriving, babe, sliving. We're sliving, like Paris.
Sliving.
We're sliving. Do you know what that is?
Like living your best?
It's a combination of slang.
What do you have on your lip right there? It's like a white thing.
What is it?
I don't know.
Spit?
I don't know.
A little.
No, it's like a crumb.
It's been there the whole time and you didn't say anything?
So. I didn't notice it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, trust us, you guys, with our tips. We're like drooling on ourselves while we're making this video.
So if you got any value out of this or want to see more educational content from us, like, hit the notification bell, and subscribe.
Yes, oh my gosh, YouTube husband, cutie.
Just watching out for you.
We're definitely the kind of people who always want to be sharing everything we've learned with you guys. So even if you have questions about flipping houses, renovating houses, design, DIY, whatever, we're constantly trying to be learning and growing together.
Amen.
Also, I'm lolzing to myself right now because he watches all these like real estate channels and channels about investing. Like the vibe here, significantly different. And with that, my friends, this video is over. Thanks for watching.
Peace.